Hi, it's Brent Osmond from Dynamic Diesel Solutions. Here we're doing a comparison today of Jaltest versus Diesel Laptop Diesel Tablet 2. And ideally we're just going to simulate a fault code on a PACCAR MX-13 engine, EPA 17. So this truck has full emissions and this PACCAR engine is in a Peterbilt. So we're using one of our clients' shops today. So thank you, Larry, for letting us do that. And we're going to do this comparison and let the end user decide which one is going to be best for them. Okay, so we've gone through and connected to the truck, and what's happened is at the top here it says system scan completed, and it's gone through and shook hands with every module on the truck. And how do we know we're communicated to the truck? Well, on the data link adapter itself, solid blue light means we've got good connection, and we can see we've used the green 9-pin. And again, only one adapter, and we don't have to use a Y cord as maybe the OEM needs to adjust for baud rate. It's all done through one adapter. And so as we can see here, we've gone through connected, we've got engine, PCI, after treatment is what PACCAR calls the EAS, Bendix ABS, and then we have access to the PACCAR CECU. Now what I've done is simulated a fault by unplugging the boost temperature sensor. So that's right back here. And a nice thing about Jaltest, as we'll get to see, is that if we don't know where this sensor is located, it's going to give us in the wiring diagram a picture of where that sensor is located. So let's go take a look, and we'll connect to the engine and see what it comes with as a fault code. Okay, so we've gone and connected to the engine, and when you go to connect to the engine, it's going to say, hey, fault code reading is going to be done in conjunction with the after treatment module as well. So what we want to do here, because we've simulated a fault, is go to fault code reading. Now it's going to say, yes, fault code reading is jointly done with the after treatment module. Cool. So this is what we want to see. With that boost temperature sensor unplugged, did we generate a fault? Yes, we did. Boost air temperature sensor voltage high. Expected to see that anytime that a sensor, two wire temperature sensors unplugged, we should be generating a voltage high code. So now the nice thing about Jaltest is if I want some information, and then it's going to give me the component, boost air temperature sensor. Now if I want to see where that boost air temperature sensor is located, right from here, we can go right into the wiring diagram. For some of us where this could be a new piece of equipment, or we're not familiar, right? Jaltest does a really good job at showing us where. So MX-13 boost temperature sensor right over at the number 2 fuel line. And as we take a look, that's exactly where it is. And from right here, we're going to get pinouts, what power supply should be, and resistance for that sensor based on temperature. So from right there, finding the fault code to locating the sensor and even give me some basic troubleshooting, we can see Jaltest is doing a really good job. Now, if I go back and if I click the button on the end, so it looks like 3 boxes in a globe. Anytime that we see a globe in the bottom right hand corner with Jaltest, that means it's going to need an internet connection. What we just did to find the wiring diagram and the component location, we did not need internet access for. So it makes it real good for a guy in a field service truck, not having to worry about internet connection. So if we click on here, show troubleshooting, this is going to take us to Jaltest step-by-step guided troubleshooting. And right from here, we can see on the troubleshooting itself, it's going to take us right to that sensor. So this is just Jaltest's fault code and fault code troubleshooting. If we go back, it says yes, right? What I'm going to go do now is just plug that sensor back in and come over here and hit refresh faults, and we're going to see what happens. So I'm just going to go update fault code list. It's going to go through its scan again. So my fault code went inactive, but my EGR solenoid recirculation says operation failure and engine protection mode exists. So in order to clear these faults, the manufacturer has said, hey, we need to run an EGR derate disable. So come over here, and then if we ran the disable EGR power reduction, then we could clear that fault code. Okay, so as we can see, with simulating a voltage high code on the boost temperature sensor, everything was right at our fingertips. Fault code reading, troubleshooting, and wiring diagram. So if this rolled into the shop with an actual fault with this PACCAR MX-13 engine, we could have this up and back on the road, or at least diagnosed fairly quickly, fairly easily, because everything is right here at our fingertips, along with the factory resets. Okay, so we've gone and connected with the diesel tablet 2, and as we can see here, it says vehicle is communicating. So now all I have to do is hit scan vehicle, and it's going to go through and do an auto detect of this vehicle. And it's going to bring up what modules there are available for me. So right now it's gone through and it's done a system scan, and we can see, yep, we connected to a Peterbilt 389 with a PACCAR MX-13, pulled the VIN, and if I wanted to check out the diagnostic menu, then I just hit diagnostic. So if I go through and hit report, it's going to generate a report of what fault codes it picked up. What I really want to do is see our diagnostic capabilities. So if I hit diagnostic plan, it's going to say, hey, here are some fault codes. So the one that I know we should have should be inlet air temperature sensor voltage too high. This is what it's picked up. And then on the after treatment system, and inlet air temperature voltage too high. I would expect to see, yes, a high voltage code because it is unplugged, right? So if I go back here, hit this guy, no information help yet. Okay, whatever. So let's go back, right? Now I can clear those DTCs, but I know because I have it unplugged, it's not going to do anything for me. So what I want to do is go back. Okay, so we've accessed the PCI, and so we want to check and see what our diagnostic trouble code is, DTC. So from here, inlet air temperature, voltage high, so I can click repair information, and it's going to take me to Diesel Laptops web service. So this is going to bring us to Diesel Repairs access and allow us to troubleshoot this fault code. If I want to go back, I can go back here and go back here. Now, if I wanted to make sure all of our tests are there to reset this fault code while accessing the engine, it is not, because I know we're going to need to access the after treatment, repair support, disable the EGRD rate. So this is the one that we're looking for after we go and repair this fault code. So it does have the factory resets in there. So as you can see, we had to navigate a couple different menus and a couple different load screens to get to the fault code information. And then when we got to the fault code information and hit fault code and we wanted some repair direction, it took us to a web browser to get the repair information from another subscription based through Diesel Laptops. So what we did was we unplugged a boost temperature sensor on the engine just to simulate a fault so that both scan tools could pick up that fault code. With Jaltest, we were able to identify the fault code right away. We had access to the fault information. So where that sensor was even located was given to us. Wiring diagrams are readily available. And then if we wanted to do the troubleshooting with it, yes, as long as we were connected to the internet, we could do the troubleshooting. Now, when we connected with the Diesel Laptops, we had a couple of different menus to go through, a couple different load screens, and then when it came to troubleshooting, we needed another subscription for Diesel Repair in order to get that troubleshooting for that fault code. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide which one of these two systems was more efficient.